everyone, I hope you're all well today. I was just starting the week by doing different stages of foundation coverage, starting with the most natural, building up to really full coverage. My skin's been feeling really dry this last week, and I think it's because I've been inside so much. So I've moisturised about an hour and a half ago with the Embryolisse, and that's lovely. My skin does feel a lot better. It doesn't feel quite as tight as what it did. Now then, I'm going to do a really natural foundation base, but still getting the coverage where I want. I don't, for myself, own a really natural foundation. I like the coverage. I like to be able to cover everything. So what I'm going to do is show you a quick trick of how to mix a foundation that you maybe feel is a little bit too heavy. I'm using True Match. Really like that. You can tell I like it. Look at the state of that. With my moisturiser. So I'm going to basically just water it down and turn it into like a tinted moisturiser. So popping some of the moisturiser on. I've already got the foundation on the back of my hand. Right, so I'm going to do not quite half and half. I'm just going to mix and see how I like that finish. Now, different moisturisers and different foundations, some you might find that some work really well together, others might not work well together. Just have a play and see how you get on. Right, I'm just popping that on my brush. I always take the excess off my finger. So foundation, moisturiser, there is where I've mixed the two. So what I want is just a little bit of evenness, but keeping it really fresh coverage, as if I've just popped on a tinted moisturiser. You could pop this on with your fingers if you wanted. Most tinted moisturisers you would just apply like a moisturiser on a morning, just using your fingers and massaging it in. I'm using a brush. I do use my fingers sometimes, but I tend to like a really fluffy brush that I can just buff everything in with. So it doesn't need to be perfect, and you will still be able to see any flaws that I have underneath this, but that's what we want. We don't want to cover everything. So actually, I'm getting a tiny bit of coverage here, and already my skin is feeling hydrated again, feeling lovely and just like refreshed, which is really nice. I'd also actually, before I'd put my cream on this morning, I applied some of this really good product. So it's like a lotion, almost like serum-y in texture, that you just put on clean skin, and that's the day one for all ages and all skin types. It's a hyaluronic, not hydrolonic acid. So what that's going to do is draw water from the atmosphere and pop it into your skin, and you're just going to feel, you know, really hydrated. So that's a great product. I've used that every day for about 6 months, and I can't live without it. That bottle's nearly gone. I've got another one waiting. Right. So you can still see all my bits and pieces, but you can see that my skin's looking sort of fresh again and hydrated, which is great. Right, so because I've just got, you could stop here if you wanted, that's absolutely fine. Because I like a little bit more coverage, I'm going to pop on a little bit more. Because I've got such a natural base on now, I am going to pop on a little bit of extra concealer. So I'm just going to pop that onto the back of my hand, and I'm just going to apply this anywhere where I want extra coverage. So I want some just around my eye area there, and just bringing it round. I'm not bringing it all the way up, because when I don't have a lot of makeup on, I do like to use that bit of colour around my lash line as the definition. It keeps it really natural. So I'm just going to pop that there. So as you can see, as I'm applying it, it's actually a really good match to what I've popped on. I don't have dark circles. I'm really lucky that I don't suffer with dark circles. Obviously I do have, you know, the bags as I've got older, the troughs I think they call them, but I don't have dark circles. So there. So you can see as well, my nose, I'm getting a spot there. I can feel it coming. So I would pop a little bit of extra concealer around this area. I'm not doing it really tidy. That's where I get redness, so I only want it there. I'm just concealing my nose and around my nose because that's where I want extra coverage. And I also want a little bit of extra coverage here. I've got a scar from a really bad cold sore that I had about 4 months ago, and it's still, the scar's still there. So do that. Get my foundation brush and I always just buff it in. So there'll still be a little bit of my excess product on there, and that's what I want. I just want to soften all around the edges, so you can see that's just evened up around there. Pop a little bit of extra sort of on my chin there where I've got a bit of discoloration. On my chin, and then again with my brush just pop over it like so. That'll be enough for me. Not fussed about these bits around here. It's this sort of central section that I'm most bothered about. Right, so just to warm up my skin, I'm not going to use powder today at all because like I say, my skin was feeling really quite dry this morning, so I'm just rubbing the excess off there. So I'm going to use my Creme Chanel bronzer, which is lovely. So again, with all these cream products, I always take it out of the container, pop it on my hand, and then I always just use it to warm up the product, you see, so it goes on a lot easier. Right, with that same little brush, you could use a big fluffy brush if you wanted to. I'm just going to use this same brush. I'm not contouring, I'm just adding some warmth to my face. I don't feel like I need contour because my foundation, my base, is so natural that I haven't cancelled out, you know, all the different areas of my face. So we've still got, you know, you can still see the darkness and the shadows there, because I've kept my base so natural. So at this point, I don't feel like I particularly need any contour there. You know, feel free to do whatever you want, but I usually find the heavier foundation I use, the more I would need to then contour my skin or my face, and then a little bit, just sort of, I always pop it just there, just to add a tiny bit of warmth on the old double chin there. Hoping that isn't going to get any worse while we're self-isolating. Could do, watch this space. Right, so that's just warmed up my skin. Now then, I grabbed a lipstick earlier today that I haven't worn in ages, and actually I love it. It's Charlotte Tilbury Secret Salma. So I've got that lipstick. I'm going to keep a little bit of extra aside. Again, I'm using this on my cheeks for a really natural colour. I'm not watering this down either, like I did in my other video. You could pop it on with your fingers if you wanted to. Just pop it on where you want it first. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you've got your foundation brush or your fingers to sort that out. Do do like my blusher, but I don't want it to stay looking like this. Foundation brush, go around the edges. If you've watched a few of my videos, you'll know that I love doing this. I love doing this technique. I'm almost leaving that bit that I'd applied first in there, see? So I'm just skimming around the edges, and again with this one, skim around those edges, but leave the majority of the product in the middle, so it is a little bit stronger. And then I always go like that. A little bit of cream highlighter, Hollywood Flawless Filter. Sticking with the creams. Move my hair. Right, so I'm not bringing it really high up, but I'm not taking it low down either. I'm just popping it just where I can feel my cheekbone there, and then a little bit there where I like my radiance. And then for the last time, buff it in, so it all mixes together. That's how I want it to be. Lovely. A little bit of extra lipstick. I'm not going to put powder on today. I'm not fussed about anything moving. I want my skin to feel as hydrated as possible. But you can see how just doing that, even with mixing the foundation in with the moisturiser, it's still given a really lovely even coverage. So hope that helps you. Have a little play and see what you think. Bye.